Today I'm with Fraser Mayfield. Fraser's the product director of Lexis One, which is a new entrant into the market in the ERP and time recording sphere. Hi Fraser, thanks for coming in.
Hi Charles, it's good to be here.
Now Lexis One is based on the Microsoft AX platform. Has this given you an edge in terms of development and product set?
It certainly has in certain areas. So one of the areas that we're working on with Microsoft at the moment, and this is under development, is in the area of our mobile time offering.
Right.
Where Microsoft have brought to the table standard time recording solutions that use their technology in quite clever ways. So one of the challenges that law firms have when looking at mobile solutions is around the areas of data security and client confidentiality when considering how they deploy those solutions to clients. Now, working with Microsoft, we can leverage things like Microsoft Azure to provide authentication via the cloud, but into the on-premise solutions. So we're able to leverage a lot of the technology stack that Microsoft provide when delivering specific solutions for the legal industry.
And with the mobile solutions, I'm assuming that it's not a case of, because it's a Microsoft product, you've got to use Microsoft mobile devices. You can use Android, iOS, BlackBerry if you want to.
It's really a good question because Microsoft have done a lot of investment, especially with the new CEO coming in with the cloud first, mobile first announcements. And one of the big tenets of that is to make sure that people have choice about the device and the form factor that they use. So the time offerings from on top of AX utilize Android, iOS, so the iPhone, and also the Windows Mobile and Windows 8 version. So it allows us to have multiple platform offerings so that our clients can have choice.
Are you finding that mobility is becoming increasingly important as lawyers practice on the move?
It's certainly the feedback that we're getting from clients, and one of the reasons that we think it's important to have that as part of our core offering. With increasing globalization, people are traveling more. Technology does allow you to overcome some of that, but yes, definitely people are traveling more and need access to information and data input when they're on the move.
Is time a key component of business management systems?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, we pitch it as a business management system. And obviously, the key touch points of traditional practice management systems for lawyers are often in the areas of time recording and billing. So we expect to be strong in those areas. But in addition to that, we sort of bring a lot of other aspects to the table. So whether it be things like employee expense management or incorporating human resource management, that all comes as part of the Lexis One solution.
Are you finding that lawyers are now under increasing pressure to provide detailed breakdowns of time to their clients?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting situation because I think lawyers, more than any other industry, capture time at such a granular level. And it's one of the reasons that I believe that law firms have been very successful and very profitable in a lot of areas, is because they've been able to capture this level of granularity. And it's certainly a focus that we've applied as part of the Lexis One solution, is to make sure that you can be incredibly granular. But I think that in some ways it's sort of creating a rod for our own back in the industry, because by capturing at such a granular level, it also then allows clients to question it at a very granular level. So increasingly we're seeing that in the form of legislation such as the requirement for precedent H here in the UK, obviously UTBMS in the US, that people are asking for more information about this. And then when we go on to look at things like client satisfaction, many firms I talk to tell me about a huge number of credit notes being issued as part of every billing run, which actually makes the firm really operationally inefficient. They often spend more time dealing with that than they may have taken producing the original invoice. But the reputational damage that can have in terms of your client from issuing an invoice at a value that wasn't correct can also be quite damaging in terms of your client relationships, and it can lose trust and cause them to question future transactions. So introducing things like online drafting and making tools easier to make those decisions around the time that's captured can also help to make sure they're being made at the right time and the right level by the right people.
With Lexis One, and I know it's a relatively new product and only a few sites that you've gone public with at the moment, that's being hopefully going out internationally, isn't it? As opposed to just UK-wide.
Absolutely. So our first client operates across multiple jurisdictions.
Right.
One of the things it's helped them with is to enable them to collaborate on matters across those jurisdictions. So whereas previously it was something that was a little challenging for them. So the idea of a global matter where lawyers from any of your different offices can record against a single matter while still handling the accounts underneath in terms of reporting in the local areas is very important to how Lexis One operates. Our focus on the UK is really around making sure that we work with a select few clients as part of the initial stages to ensure successful delivery, and when then rolling out into other jurisdictions on a structured basis.
I appreciate Lexis One is still in its early stages, but what can, without giving away any corporate secrets, but what can users expect in the coming months or coming releases, particularly on the time recording side of things?
Well, obviously we've spoken about mobile, and so mobile is sort of the next big thing from a time recording from our perspective. Really, just in addition to that, it's all about enabling some of these things I've been talking about, like enabling easier to use workflows. So whether that be something like approving a transaction from a mobile device. So a lot of it's about mobility, about pushing transactions out to people to make it easier to guide those decisions.
So following, to an extent, the Microsoft mantra of mobile first.
Mobile is big. It's a big trend. It enables people to work in different ways. Organizations, are increasingly being more mobile in terms of their workforce. It's something we embrace internally at LexisNexis. We have a lot of mobile workers. We use Office 365 so we can collaborate on documents. So it's a big trend and one that I don't think can be ignored.
Fraser, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.